Hello everyone! In this week's video, I'm drawing myself into 3 anime screen captures. A few weeks ago, I made a video of drawing myself into some anime screen captures. That video now has over 900,000 views. That's crazy. So many of you seem to like seeing me do this and have requested I do it again. In my last video, I requested that all of you give me some anime suggestions. So I'll draw myself into some animes that I saw suggested by all of you. So let's get started. The first anime I'll be drawing myself into is Pokemon Journeys. I found this scene of Ash and Go chilling with an Ivysaur. It seemed like I could fit myself right here, and it seemed like it'd be a fun scene to draw myself into, so I picked this scene. I believe it's from episode 2. So I copy Ash over, lower the opacity of the screenshot and Ash, and then start sketching over Ash. To help me fit into the scene and not draw in my style, I found it's best to draw over a pre-existing character. If I didn't do this, a lot of my style and personal preferences would shine through, so to help it look authentic, I draw over an existing character. Like I mentioned in my previous video, this is just for fun. I'm not trying to trace and copy and claim this as my own. So please don't get mad at me. I'm not trying to do something unethical or deceiving. I'm telling you all what I'm doing. I'm just having fun putting myself into some screenshots. Also, if you don't know what I look like, here is a picture of myself. I have brown, short, or medium length hair that is parted in the middle, and brown eyes, and I also wear glasses. So next up is the line art. The line art is an off black color. It's a very, very dark gray. Line art in animes often don't have a lot of size variation in the line art, so I use the 4 Effect line pen to draw the line art because it does not change with pressure. Pokemon was suggested to me quite a few times. It wasn't one of the most popular ones I saw. I didn't see it a ton, but I really wanted to draw myself into it, so I chose it. My sister Reagan, me, and my brother Joel all really enjoy watching it together. I've really enjoyed Journeys. I think it's fun to watch. I often don't get super into the Pokemon animes. Like, I'll kind of watch them, but I don't watch like every episode. I did watch quite a lot of X and Y. I only watched the first episode of Sun and Moon. I didn't give Sun and Moon much of a chance. However, I've been really into Pokemon Journeys. I think it might be because the animation style is so cute and all the characters are so adorable. Also, I played a ton of Sword and Shield, so it's fun seeing those elements included in the anime. Now it's time for the coloring. There weren't a ton of the colors I needed for my character in this scene, so I tried to create my own colors to fit into the color palette. I tried my best, but the colors just kept seeming out of place. Animes often seem to have a color palette, and it can be kind of hard to stay in it without picking colors from the anime. So to help me pick colors, I found this screenshot that seemed to include more of the colors I needed. It included a paler skin tone and browns, so it was very helpful for selecting colors. Also, I gave myself some little highlights in my hair, kind of like Chloe and her little brother. And here is me in Pokemon Journeys. When I would show this to my siblings, it'd give them a good laugh. They thought it was funny that I was hanging out with an Ivysaur. This video is sponsored by Boxu. Boxu is a monthly snack box subscription service that delivers original assortments of premium Japanese snacks and tea pairings. Every month you'll receive a box with a different theme. The snacks will always be different. It's our gourmet journey through Japan every month. The box I received this time is the Boxu birthday box. Boxu is celebrating its 5th birthday. You can read all about it in the culture guide, where you can learn all about the snacks and where they are from. My siblings and I all love trying the snacks together. My sister Ruth tried the Maru Goto Kaijitsu gummies. These gummies are made of 100% fruit juice. Enjoy the flavor of real fruit as you try this assortment of Momo white peach and muscat grape. I love the light fruity taste of these. They're so good.
They're good.
My brother Joel tried the Jaga Choco potato chips. These potato chips are thick and crispy. They're fried and covered in a layer of milk chocolate. I think these are really good.
I'm not sure if I should taste chocolate or vegetable. It's good, but it's just kind of random what flavor it is. Like, I'm veggie. No, I'm chocolate. Which one are you?
My littlest brother Jack also wanted to try some snacks, like the Happy Turn rice crackers. My sisters and I love these. They are so crispy and have a really nice flavor. But Jack wasn't much of a fan.
Yeah.
Just lick it, no? See?
My personal favorite of this box is the Mao strawberry plus milk langu de chat cookie. It has a lovely strawberry flavor and the cookie is so crispy and has a nice layer of white chocolate in the middle. It's so yummy. Get 10% off your own authentic Japanese snack box from Boxu and save up to $47 using my code and link in the description. This also helps support my channel at no extra cost to you, so thank you so much to anyone that uses my code and link. Thank you so much to Boxu for sponsoring this video. The next anime I'm drawing myself into is Snow White with the red hair. For this one, we are going to get a little more complicated. So I thought I would draw myself into the scene with Mitsuhide and Kiki. However, there isn't really a character for me to use as my base, so I found this other scene that I thought about drawing myself into, but instead I'm going to take Kiki from this scene and use her as my base in another scene. That way I can more easily stick with the style. I'm going to be honest, I felt kind of clever for thinking of this. I thought it was smart to take a character from a different screenshot and plop it into another one. If you've never watched Snow White with the red hair, it is a shoujo kind of fantasy anime and I love it very much, and it made me happy when I saw it being suggested. It's about Prince Zen and Shirayuki and kind of the adventures they go on together. The characters in this scene are Mitsuhide and Kiki. They work for Prince Zen. I'm not totally sure what their duties are. They kind of just like help him and protect him and work for him, and they're kind of his friends. I thought that if I was in the anime, I'd probably work for Zen like them, so it makes sense for me to be by them. I did think about drawing myself into a scene with Zen and Shirayuki since they're kind of the main characters. However, whenever they are together, they kind of seem to be having a moment. So I didn't want to be a third wheel and kind of just be awkwardly in the scene. It would have been kind of funny. I also kind of wanted to be in a scene that included Obi because he's one of my favorite characters, but he doesn't come for quite a few episodes, and when I draw these, I try to pick scenes that are in the first couple of episodes, so there are no spoilers. Well, I guess I kind of broke that rule with the Haikyuu screenshot I drew in my last video, but I wanted to be drawn in the new style, so that's why I picked an episode from season 4. But that episode was the first episode of season 4, and it didn't include any spoilers. When drawing the line art, I had to make sure to draw around Mitsuhide's arm. That way I wouldn't go over his arm and his arm would be in front of me since I am behind him. I wasn't sure how tall the characters are. I usually try to make myself close to the height I am in real life, so it's kind of more like I'm in the anime. But because we're dealing with perspective and fitting myself into the background, I kind of just went with whatever looked right instead of trying to accurately show my in real life height. For the shading, a lot of it seems to be the same color applied to different areas, so I kept making a bunch of different colors at different opacities until I found something that matched. It sounds kind of tricky, but thankfully it actually wasn't too difficult. I just kind of had to keep adjusting the hue and the opacity until it was close enough. I then applied the color to where I thought made sense and seemed consistent with the scene. I did put a lot of shadow by the right eye. I changed that later because it seemed like it didn't fit with the style. Speaking of the eyes, I mostly use Mitsuhide as my reference for them because he has brown eyes. The eyes seem to have a dark portion, a mid-tone portion, and kind of a light area at the bottom. The highlights are kind of angular and not super round. They also go into the white of the eye. And ta-da! I am now in Snow White with the red hair. This is one of my favorite animes, so I had a lot of fun doing this. Last but not least, we have the highly suggested anime, My Hero Academia. There were tons of people that wanted to see this, so I will give you what you want. Uravaka is the only girl in this scene, so I'm going to use her as my base. When I searched her height, she is like close to 5'3", which is about the height of my little sister Ruth. I am 5'8", so I need to be quite a bit taller than Uraraka. I kind of used my sister as a reference for placing myself into the scene for getting the heights correct. Also, Deku is 5'5". I'm assuming that doesn't include his hair, because including his hair, he's nearly the same height as me, but I'm assuming his height doesn't include his hair. I didn't want to be an exact copy of Uraraka, so I edited the base. I flipped the body so it kind of faces a different way. I wanted my head to still look in the same direction, so I didn't flip the head. I tried my best to realign the body and the head until it looked pretty okay. After that, I changed up the pose to have my arms down. That way I wasn't totally mimicking Uraraka. I think this scene by far was kind of the most complicated I've done, since I did a lot of editing to the base, and I feel like I kind of made it a little bit more my own. Instead of just completely redrawing over an existing character, I changed it up quite a bit. Since I was standing right next to Uraraka, I didn't want my pose to be extremely like hers. So this scene is from episode 5. I randomly clicked on this episode because I saw a bunch of the characters in their uniforms, so I thought maybe I would find a good scene to draw myself into in this episode. In this scene, the characters are reacting to Aizawa. He's a teacher, but he doesn't really look like one, so they're really surprised. If you've been a part of my channel for a while, you may know that I wasn't able to really get into My Hero Academia. It's a little too violent for me. Some people make fun of me when I say that, but everyone has their own tolerance for certain things. I sometimes do question if I could get into the manga, because violence in comics, manga, and webtoons doesn't bother me as much. I read some fairly violent webtoons, and if things start to get maybe a little too intense, I just scroll faster. In animes, it's often the sound effects that get me, like yelling in pain, or like just the random things breaking, or the sound effects. Like that's often what grosses me out. But with comics, you don't really have those, and it's also easier to kind of skip over things. You just need to read faster or turn the page faster. So maybe I could try reading the manga, because it is a very interesting concept, and when I was looking for a scene in episode 5, I kept finding myself watching the episode. Deku is so precious, he's adorable. I bursted out laughing when the kid with the laser belly button was using his superpower. It's so random. Also, the frog girl is really cute. I don't know her name, but I really like her design. She's really cute. As I was working on this, I kept trying to think what my quirk or superpower would be. I feel like a lot of the powers are really creative. I like how they often have a downside to them if used too much or there's some kind of side effect. At first I thought about doing something art related like illusions, but that seemed too generic. I wanted something kind of quirky. As I was brainstorming, I was trying to think about different elements of myself and my life, and I am the oldest of 8 siblings, so I thought it might be funny if my quirk was related to that. My quirk could be called Older Sister. When Rebecca puts her hands on her hips and speaks in a stern voice, the person she is talking to feels the overwhelming sense to listen to what she commands. However, whatever Rebecca commands can't bring harm to the person she is commanding, because older sisters look out for the younger siblings. So like, I could command someone to give me some food, but I couldn't tell them to do something that'd be harmful or wrong, like hitting someone or stealing. Also, my quirk doesn't work on everyone, especially if they are very rebellious or strong-willed. I thought it kind of sounded like an interesting quirk, because it could be very effective, but it could also not be super effective in some cases. Also, I don't really like bossing people around, especially if I don't know them very much. So I imagine if I was in the anime, I would actually struggle to use my quirk because I don't really like bossing people around. One of the last steps I always do when drawing myself into anime scenes is apply blur to my drawing. I copy all of my layers and merge all of the copies into one layer. I then apply some blur to the drawing so it isn't as crisp and kind of matches the screenshot a little bit more. And now I'm in My Hero Academia. I kind of look like Uraraka's older sister or something. We both have brown hair and brown eyes, and my eyes are kind of a round shape like Uraraka. So yeah. I had a lot of fun drawing all of these. I always have a lot of fun making these videos and plan to make more in the future. If you have any anime suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Thank you so much to my lovely patrons for helping support this channel, including
Claudie Diana, Laughing Raven, BB Nate Nelly, Sarah Beats, Little Sparrow, Jess H, Gundam Tanaka, Emily, Lily, Brianna H, Zella, H Junior Pizarro, Tatiana, Roseskip21, Tomfish, Sexujin, Purple Jessie, Jarell, Bayla, Night Mage 14, Rogelio, Fairy Dawn Gray, Trash Oracle, Blue6562, Hollow Studio, Dozar89, and Miles to Go, Panda Bear, Patrick, Aaron, Andrew, Robert, Artist Ever After, Tamalam, Twin Vonnie, Rachel, Eric, and Eduardo. Thank you all so much for being a part of the Patreon community. And thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next week in my next video. Bye!